So, hi, Rhea. It's so nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. So great to meet you as well.
Yeah, awesome. I'm so excited to speak to you. So, first off, congrats on the release of your debut album, Hunter. That's so exciting. I know fans have been
Thank you.
waiting for it. So, can you just talk to us a little bit about your release?
Yeah, it's been, oh my gosh, first of all, thank you. And yeah, the last what is it? It's been like a week and a half or 2 weeks. Oh, no, a week since it came out. Um, yeah, it's been like almost 3 years in the making now, this project. So I have to say it just feels like the biggest release. Or it's a release. But yeah, just it's the best feeling that it's out now in the world and it's not just sitting on my hard drive. And now it feels like it went from being like my little thing to like it's there in the world and it's for everybody. So it's just, yeah, surreal.
And you've had such an interesting career as a musician. You started off auditioning on American Idol, and now you're where you are now as a singer, a songwriter, an established artist. So, can you talk to us a little bit about how you got to the point you're at now?
Yeah, so I started out as a dancer first. So my mom ran a dance school for over 10 years and she taught classical Indian dance. So she taught Bharatanatyam and Bollywood. And so I think from like very young age, always gravitated towards like dancing and music and performing. And that I'm like always so grateful for, like just my family being very supportive of the arts. And yeah, I was on American Idol when I was 15 and loved performing. I taught myself how to play guitar and piano, and I started songwriting when I was like 10, 11. And I had been performing a lot just at like coffee shops and different venues. And American Idol was my first, like, I think, like launching pad and like being on national TV and like at such a large scale. And that was like such a defining moment for me, knowing like, oh, this is really what I want to do. And I just love singing and being an artist so much. And after that, after like that whole experience ended, I was doing a lot of top lining. So I feel like not a lot of people know this about me, but I have like 40 like EDM releases that I did all throughout high school. And I would come home after school every day and I would like learn like teach myself how to record and write over like these songs and write like over these beats, I mean, and be able to just like write songs very quickly and like turn them around in like 24, 48 hours. And that experience like really helped me kind of like sharpen my writing skills. And then I moved to New York when I was 18 and I went to school at NYU. And that's where I ended up meeting my current music publisher. And I signed with them and moved to LA. And they really helped nurture my like artist development and helped me like find all my like favorite dream collaborators who really helped me up until this point, like now with Hunter, figure out like my sound and the music that I love to make and put this whole project together. So that's been the journey. I released Hunter independently through my own label. It's called Mischief Records. So also really excited about like being an entrepreneur and being like a woman in music that's not only an artist but also like running my business and growing that side of, yeah, my brand.
I especially love that you touched just on like growing up as Desi American. I'm also Desi American, so I find it
Oh
really
my
inspiring.
gosh.
I know I wear my jumkas
That's
today.
so great. I was like, I know those earrings.
Yeah,
I
so
like
it's
this.
really exciting to see you in such a creative space, pursuing what you love and also creating opportunities for other people to follow step. So, kind of going back into that, growing up Desi American, how do you think that your cultural background influences your music and your artistic journey today?
Yeah. Oh, first of all, I love that. Um, I think I think musically, like I just because of the family background and like the dance upbringing that I had, I just grew up listening to a lot of Bollywood music, but also more classical Indian music and like my favorite is like all the like 70s, 80s, Bollywood songs. And I it was interesting. I grew up in Texas. That's like where I spent most of my like formative years as a preteen and a child, and always had this like very confused sense of identity as a kid because I was like, you don't feel like you fit in anywhere. And over the years, like growing older and like stepping into adulthood, I found this like new sense of connection to my identity as an Indian girl and as an Indian American. And so with the music I make, there's just like a lot of production and musical choices that feel very organic to me, like melodically, things that I gravitate towards that are clearly like from the music that I grew up listening to and like all that Indian influence, but also like visually for me, finding ways to express that side of my background, whether it's like wearing my own or like I'll wear my bindis in music videos or performances. Those are things that make me feel really like proud, and I hope that those are things too that like other young like brown girls can see and be like, oh whoa, like I feel seen, I feel represented in that way, in like a very just clear visual, expression.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I'm like, I think so. You were also born in 2000, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we were both kind of born at the same time. I was at the end of 2000. So I feel like that's such a huge developing moment for Indian American girls, especially right now. So like growing up and feeling that disconnect from your community and not really knowing, I think especially like you said, growing up in Texas. Yeah, I just think it's insane that like as you grow up, you start realizing how appreciative you are of your culture and you want to start blending different elements of your culture into today. So I absolutely love the way you do your styling with the bindis and everything. Like I recently like have started getting really into like Indian jewelry. I started wearing like barandas in my hair and like it's just so fun to show those little aspects of yourself. So in terms of just your whole style and your whole aesthetic, is that something that you are the full visionary behind or are there other pieces that are coming in there? I'd love to know more about that.
Yeah, I have really up until now been doing like most of my styling myself, and there's been so many that it's been like a big growing a process of like just learning and like growth because I look back at some stuff and I'm like, oh my God, what was this decision? But I think that's the fun of fashion and like just discovering like what you love and also like what doesn't work. But yeah, it's been fashion to me is like one of my favorite ways to just express myself and to try new things and just have fun. And I recently have been working with a lot of like just like independent designers all over the world who I feel really inspired by. And I think it's an exciting time like to just discover new like designers and like people and like this growing community, especially as you're growing as an artist too, like finding people that like you really click with and like they get your vibe and it all works is so exciting. But yeah, I love traditional Indian jewelry and like finding that beautiful blend of like Western fashion, but also like the elements from Indian fashion too, like whether it's like prints or textures that I love, is really important to me.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So, going back into the music a little bit, your music seamlessly blends all kinds of genres. You've touched on pop, you've touched on dance, hip hop. You're kind of like the queen of doing it all. So, what inspires your unique fusion of these genres?
Yeah, I look up to a lot of artists like Rihanna, Rosalia, and all these like just global pop icons that do it all, like you said. And I think that the word pop in itself is such a freeing genre in a way, because even though we like there's so many like, oh, this rules on like I guess what pop is, I love to think that also like it's just something where you get to try a lot of different styles and sounds, and while everything still feels very pop, I do love to explore different sounds and different things and all these different facets. And I think even with Hunter, the project is like primarily a dance clubby record because I love dancing when I perform. But even like a song like Sucker, I think kind of pushes the production in a more experimental electronic world versus something like Hush feels like more like club anthemy. And then you have something like Messy that's like stadium kind of like Gwen Stefani meets like early Britney Christina type pop. So kind of exploring like the bounds of like where that can go. But yeah, I think like the artists that I love have been the ones that have like evolved over time and aren't afraid to try things.
So you've performed on major stages like the SXSW and the United Nations, which is just so remarkable. So can you share a defining moment that you think solidified your passion for music and performance?
Yeah. Oh, that United Nations show was crazy. I'm like, what year was that? I was like maybe 17. Um, there's been a few moments that was like a big one to me where I was like this feels like bigger than just music. And like it was a reminder to me that like music is a part of culture and it's a way that you can really connect with people on a different level. And for me, like even though yes, like music is my outlet of expressing myself and connecting to people, like the bigger vision is about empowering people and for people to listen to the music and to feel like they can express themselves unapologetically. And so with every performance, it's always like, okay, how do I put on the best show and entertain people? But also like I want everyone to like come to the show and watch and listen to the music and feel so fully immersed and be able to leave like every and anything that they feel like any baggage that they have to carry like aside, put that aside and just feel like the best version of themselves and hopefully walk away like also feeling that way, just like 10 times more confident and beautiful and fierce.
I think that's awesome. So, your songs Outside and Devil in a Dress have received widespread acclaim and just garnered millions of views on TikTok and have just been a hit on social media. So, what do you think it is about these songs in particular that resonates so deeply with your audience?
Yeah, I think those two songs are like really like we outside with 10 girls and we got brown eyes. Like it's an anthem for my brown girls. And Devil in a Dress too is also like it's such a statement song. The lyrics are so bold. It's like it's the way that God made me. I'm a devil in a dress on the dance floor, baby. So it's just like I'm here, I'm outside. I am unapologetic about the way that I'm going to express myself. And I think that like more so than ever, we just need music like that and lyrics and artists that aren't like afraid to just say how it is. And I also love music too that like if I'm like singing it back, it just like it's like a mantra and it makes me like just feel like whew, energized. And so I think that song just resonates with people around the world. Like we all want to feel uplifted.
Yeah, it's like daily manifestations. You're on the stage and you're like, okay, everyone, sing it back to me. What are we? What are we?
Yeah, exactly.
So with your debut album Hunter out now, what message or emotions do you hope that your listeners are going to take away from your music? And also, what do you expect from your album in the future?
Yeah, I love that. The word hunter to me is so exciting, and I hope that I think when people first heard that, it was like, okay, what is hunter? Like, what does that mean? And the whole album is really about like that reclaiming of your identity that we all, I think, go through in our own ways, whatever that is, whatever that means to the individual. But like that idea of transformation from like the hunted to the hunter and taking control over your life and your identity and like feeling that sense of just evolution, stepping into a new era. And so, like with this project, it's like a very bold statement of like, I'm here, this is my sound, this is my message. And I'm really excited about exploring this project visually. So I have like a couple videos that are already out, but now the song Hush, just was the second single from the project. That one has a music video that's also coming out very soon. I'm working on a zine. I'm to me, visuals are everything. Like building out the world in that way has been so exciting to me in the last couple years. So I'm excited for everyone to be able to experience like the music videos, the zine, the live shows. Excited to take this project on tour either later this year or early next year. So a lot to come in this world of Hunter.
I'm so excited to see the way this album is going to develop and how your listeners and other people are going to resonate with it. I know me personally, again, as a Desi American, I love what you're doing and I think it's so inspiring. And I think that so many young Desi people, brown girls in general, just young girls in general, are going to take so much from this album. So thank you so much for speaking with me today and sharing a little bit about your album and you. So, is there anything else that you wanted to add before we kind of end the interview?
Just stream Hunter, put that on a loop.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Great. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you
taking the
so
time to
much.
speak with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Have a great rest of your day.
Yes, you too. Talk to you soon.
Yep, bye.